Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about the pros and the cons of living in Moscow, and I'm mostly going to be comparing this to living in the UK because obviously I was brought up and I lived in the UK all of my life before I moved here. So yeah, I'm going to be comparing with that. Also, a lot of Russians in Moscow ask us why we actually moved here because a lot of Russians want to move to the UK. They don't want to stay here. So hopefully if you're Russian, you'll kind of understand a little bit why we really like it in Moscow and what the pros are, especially living in Moscow compared to maybe the UK and in London. So the first pro, and probably the most attractive pro as well for most people, is how far the pound goes here. So if you have some savings in the UK and you want to come here and just live for a little while, to be honest, you'll be quite wealthy here compared to how wealthy you are in the UK because your pound can buy so much more. Just as an example, I was renting one bedroom in an apartment with other people in London, and that costs more, just that one bedroom, compared to this whole apartment in Moscow just for us. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. If you're interested in all of the costs of living in Moscow, I actually did a whole dedicated video to that, so you can find that video in the card up here or in the description, so go check that out if you're interested in more details. The next thing is actually the weather, and I'm surprised I'm saying this because before I moved here I really wasn't looking forward to the cold temperature. Just as an example, yesterday it was negative 20 degrees when I woke up, and I've never experienced that temperature, and actually it's very pleasant here. This is another pro, by the way. The houses and apartments here are very well insulated. They are very warm, much warmer than the houses in the UK. They're just built for cold temperatures. So yeah, it's just very pleasant, and even when you go outside you learn how to dress warmly. So you're not going outside and then you're hit by the cold. It's actually very nice, and it's very beautiful as well, and you come to appreciate the cold temperature and the beauty of the snow. It's like a little winter wonderland here, especially when you're walking around and everything. It's really beautiful. And apparently during the summer it's really warm as well, so there's like the contrast of the different seasons, where I don't really think you get that in like the UK and maybe some other countries too. So that is something I really enjoy here, where you get a really cold winter and a really warm summer, so it's really nice. And another thing, during the summer and winter there's loads of free sports and activities to do, which is really great to get outside and do those and not spend any money. For example, at the moment we're going ice skating and the ice rink is free. You just buy some really cheap ice skates and they come at like £25 and you go ice skating for free. So it's amazing, super fun, and a great way to exercise and not having to pay for an expensive gym like you would have to in the UK. Russia has a great variety of their own original cuisines, which the UK doesn't really have, and that's really great. Specifically, if you go to the supermarkets, you'll get a huge variety of pelmeni, ready-made pelmeni in the freezer aisle. And pelmeni is basically kind of like thin dough with meat inside, and they're like tiny, they're kind of like little dumplings, and then you boil them in water, put a little bit of sour cream on the top, a little bit of dill, and then that's your lunch or your dinner. And it's really nice and super quick and easy. That's kind of like the convenient food here. It's like probably pelmeni because there are so many options, it's crazy. And they have loads of dairy drinks as well, and they have a drink called kefir, which is like kind of like really thick milk with like good bacteria in. It's really good for your gut health. And they also have one that's similar, but that they use like a different type of bacteria. So yeah, there's those two things, and they have like little dairy desserts, like kind of like little cheesecake things. I'm not sure what they're called, but there's like loads of them when you go to like the milk section. There's like loads of these little desserts. So yeah, there's definitely a big variety of foods. They have lots of soups as well, like borscht, like shi. There's like loads of nice foods here, so that's good. As a native English speaker, there is loads of job opportunities for being an English teacher, and actually because you are a native English speaker you can actually negotiate with your potential employer to get paid a little bit more because you are a native English speaker. And if you wanted to be an English teacher in the UK, I think you need a teaching qualification, you need potentially a degree, I think. I'm not sure how the teaching world works in the UK, but here it's very easy. You don't even need a qualification as a native English speaker. You can just contact a school and say that maybe you've got experience, I don't know, working at primary school for a week or something like that, and you can get a job here as an English teacher. So it's really great, and you could potentially get paid more than other teachers here too. There are lots of young people, when I say young people I mean like in their 20s, that are really passionate about the UK, about America, about learning English, and yeah, you'll come across a lot of those types of people who are really excited about the fact that you speak English, and therefore it's kind of easier to make friends because obviously you attract more people because you are a foreigner and you speak English, and therefore people are fascinated by you and want to learn more about the UK or the States or wherever you're from, and yeah, it's easier to attract new people and to make friends here. The area around the apartment is called the micro district, and that was built during the Soviet times to make everything super convenient. You can actually learn more in my other video, the apartment tour that I did, and I'll put the link up in the card here and in the description as well. Now there's definitely more pros than I just mentioned, but those are all of the ones I could think of when I was planning this video. But yeah, maybe I'll do a part 2 or something of why I moved to Moscow and put some more pros in there, but for now there's all the pros I have. Now moving on to cons. The first one that I have, which is kind of a bit random, but when you live here every single day you kind of understand, and that is the minced beef. And basically the minced beef here is not very good in our opinion, and that's because the beef here has a different texture, has a completely different taste compared to how it is in the UK, and we have like tried every single brand at this point of minced beef, and it just does not taste good in our opinion. Like, it's just so different, it's much fattier. I just think it tastes a bit funny. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's maybe a little bit sweet in a way. It's just very strange compared to the beef in the UK, and I was just completely blown away that we just can't get the same beef. Like most cities, the traffic in Moscow is terrible. Like, it's really bad. There's accidents constantly, not only because of the cold weather, which makes things kind of a little bit icy. To be fair, this is a pro. There's loads of like trucks, and there's loads of people hired by the government to clean the roads, to clean the pavements of the snow to make it safer to walk on. But still, obviously, there is ice some places, and I think there are some accidents as a result, but I think most of the accidents happen because of road rage here. It's quite scary of how much road rage there is. I definitely would never consider driving here because the traffic is awful and people, yeah, have a bit of road rage here, not gonna lie. The last con that I have actually on the list, there isn't a lot of cons because I've only lived here for 2 months and I found the experience very pleasant. It's also a very safe place to live in my opinion, very clean as well. These are 2 more pros, very clean and very safe. But the last thing and the last con that I have on the list is it's very pricey to live in the actual centre. So when I first moved here, well, actually visited here, we actually lived in the centre, so like that's the kind of first circle in Moscow. So there's like lots of different circles. When you look on a map of Moscow, you'll kind of understand what I mean. But we were living in the first circle, and we were renting an apartment for a very good price actually. But when we actually moved in, she increased the price. So after I think the 2-3 weeks we were there, if we wanted to go back when I returned from the UK, we would have had to pay like, I think it was like £880 or something. Places in the centre maybe are like a bit less than £1,000 on average, but you can definitely go higher than 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. It's definitely possible to get there in the centre, especially like in the big apartments bang in the middle. But that's kind of expected in the centre of a city. But yeah, so that's my list of pros and cons of living in Moscow. I hope you found it helpful if you're maybe considering moving to Russia. It's definitely great this time of year during COVID because the COVID restrictions are definitely less than the UK. At the moment, the UK is in full lockdown, but here it feels like COVID doesn't even exist. Only when you go into a shop you need to wear a mask, and on the metro you need to wear a mask and gloves. Other than that, it's really relaxed. You can go clubbing, you can go to a bar, you can go to restaurants. It's really chilled here. So definitely something to consider right now, but I think there's a travel ban, to be fair, from the UK to Russia. So just have a look of what's going on right now with COVID and everything. But anyway, so that's it. I really hope you enjoyed it, and do give it a big thumbs up if you did. And see you next Sunday for another video all about living and working abroad and in Russia. See you next week. Bye!